Hello, YouTubers. Okay, so it's the last day of the year, and I'm just going to do a short video as a way to wrap up the year. And I'm going to do responder. I'll be showcasing this tool called responder. Pretty cool too. It's one of the first thing I do on a Windows Active Directory domain whenever I'm on a pen test engagement, and I thought it'd be cool to showcase maybe a few things about it as much as I can. Alright, so stick around, and I hope you have fun. So right here in the user share responder, we can see, I'm just going to fall back one step. We can see in this responder tool, we've got a bunch of stuff happening here. Hash dump, packets. Responder is actually not just the regular responder that you run. There are quite a number of other handful tools that come useful. If I go back into the tools folder, we will see browser listener, DCP auto, and I think I used this one with a tool called MITM6 to spoof IPv6, and that was pretty cool. We've got DCP.py, we've got multi-relay. Today I'm going to be using run finder or finger. Then I'm also going to be using the multi-relay, hopefully just these two, but you can try these other ones on your own. They come pretty handy. Just note that if you have to use them, you'll need to disable in the etc responder.conf file. You have to disable SMB and HTTP probably for that to work for you. So let's skip the story and let's run one of these tools. So I've got a command here. I've set up a domain, although the Kali box is not in the domain, but we've got the Windows Server 2008, and we've got the Windows 7 connected to the domain. This is the domain controller. So we've got a proper Active Directory domain set up here. I've got a Windows Server 2019 also connected, but it's not here on my screen. So we've got two servers and I think 3 other hosts, but currently I'm only able to start up because of resource limitation, just this two. Okay, so let's run this on the IP on the subnet and see what we can find. Remember, the Kali box is not connected to the domain. Okay, so also my Ubuntu is not connected, so we can pretty much see it found .0.10 as a Windows 7 or Windows Server, which is actually the domain controller R2, and we've got more details about it, like the boot time and also sign SMB configuration. RDP is true, SMB1 is enabled, so look at that. Then on the Windows 7 system, basically the same architecture, more in the OS perspective, but we can also see signing is false. Here signing is true, but here signing is false. Okay, and SMB version 1 is enabled. So what can we do with this knowledge? Let's run multi-relay and see. But before that, I'm going to start responder here. If I go to the top, you see I disabled SMB and HTTP. Okay, then I'm going to come over here. Then I'm going to run a multi-relay. First, I'm going after this is the, I'm going to change this IP to that of the domain controller. So let's see, I've been able to grab the username from other passive enumeration I've done from SMB and norm stuff. So I'm skipping that part of this recording. Then that's the user I logged in as administrator. To verify, if I come here and start up PowerShell and I do maybe the WMI, or we can even see it right there. I don't have to do that. Okay, great. So if I run this, let's see. So now this is listening. We can see pretty much it's telling us that, okay, yes, there's that Vagrant login 2008 R2 as part of a CPT secure domain. Now to trigger more activities happening here. What if I stop this and maybe try to run this and I pass maybe user all? Let me see if I will see anything. Okay, so once again, I'm trying all for all user. We can see that Vagrant. Let me try to trigger an event. So I'm just going to come in here. We can already see that responder is now picking up stuff, right? Okay, it's sending that poison over to 103. If you remember, 103 is the Windows 7 box. So let's try to see if we can trigger something. Maybe I just pass a wrong file. So we can see already that hash has been collected. Remember, this is responder, so a wrong file query. It's going to state as being the server. Hey, I'm the server, send me your hash. And to verify, if I go over logs, we should be able to ls, and we will see this file here. If I cut that content of smb, oh sorry, I shouldn't be typing here. If I cut the content of smb, what is that, relay, okay, we will see that is the administrator's hash. So we've actually passively collected the administrator's hash in responder here. So what this tool is trying to do now, this multi-relay, is trying to authenticate with that hash to give us maybe a shell. We can see user CPT, previous login attempt, return, login failure, not forwarding anymore. Now the tool is quite intuitive. It attempted to log in and it discovered that the username administrator is whitelisted. So what can we do with this? Forwarding credentials, also it couldn't work, or possibly that didn't work out fine. So what if we maybe try to see if we can try to point this over to, I'm going to cancel this and maybe point this over to 103. Let me see. While that is listening, let me see. Again, it's telling me it's Windows 7 to the domain. I'm going to try to maybe once again as the user over here trigger an event and see if that's going to work. Okay, once again it's attempting and login failure. If I go back into my responder logs, you will see that I've also captured the hash for that other user. You can see it over here. I'm just going to cut this content to show you. I'm going to paste this over here. We can see this is the hash for user Ben that is also part of the CPT secure domain. So you may wonder, what can we do with this? Well, simply put, we can crack this hash using hashcats. Very easy to do. But what we're trying to do here is to try and see if we can get a shell. We're going to try it one more time. If it doesn't work, then probably it means something is preventing. Basically, you can see there's a whitelisting happening here. I had done some configuration on the domain to prevent this from happening, but I want to try and see if we can overcome that challenge to maybe grab a shell using multi-relay. Okay, so we can simply see this is not going to work because, well, there seems to be a whitelisting happening here. But the good part is we've been able to grab the hash. Now, just to make you know something, if maybe we have two hosts here, let me show something. We can see we've got the host 103 and 110 here. Imagine for these to work, there could be a possibility of this happening or working to give us a shell if maybe both these hosts have the same account and credential. So let's say on host 103, administrator had not logged on that host. So imagine if administrator had once logged on this host, and maybe Ben also had logged on that host. This is just going to work and give us a shell. Well, on your own you can try that, because I've done that actually in a client environment and it worked pretty well. But on this, I'm not going to have to log out and kill some time to do this. But trust me, it does work. And from this point, we can take this hash. You may be wondering how to crack a hash like this. I'm just going to show you something. Just give me a minute. Maybe less than a minute. I'm looking for the hashcat methods. Okay, great. I'm going to bring up that browser. So that hash is actually NTLM version 2. So it's got the hashcat method 5600. So if I'm going to crack this, I can use hashcat with the method 5600, and gracefully, if a weak password had been used, you'll be able to crack this. But if a weak password had not been used, it's going to be tough maybe the next challenge would be to try and do a pass the hash or relay attack. Already we're trying to use responder to do that here and it fails. So, but you can try to maybe use other tools like Evil GenX or any other tool to do this stuff, and that will probably work. Anyways, this is where I'm going to call a shot today. It's meant to be a quick one, and just to show you how you can maybe on a Windows environment try to just play around to see what you can grab. Already we've grabbed 2 credentials. I could replay this kind of attack for as many as possible hosts that I'm able to find for my first scanning using the finger, because the finger had shown me 2 hosts. But what if the finger had shown me a couple of hosts? I could script this in such a way that I will go after all the hosts and dump all their hashes here, NTLM-v2 hashes here, and that's pretty something cool to try out. Maybe on your home lab, or maybe the next time you're on a pentest engagement and you happen to find a Windows domain. Thank you for your time, and I wish you Happy New Year. And just to wrap up the year, from the first week as promised, we'll be recording videos for our AWS Cloud pen testing. Please do like our content, subscribe, and support the YouTube algorithm. Thank you for your time, and see you next year. Bye-bye.